Welcome to Beaufort County News and Views. I'm Catherine Glover, and I'm the director of the Washington-Beaufort County Chamber of Commerce. And I'm speaking tonight with Gail Fowler, and she is with Between Water and Main, which is located in Belhaven, North Carolina. It's actually a bed and breakfast, and she is the innkeeper. So welcome, Gail.
Thank you, Catherine.
Glad to have you and learn all about your business.
Good to be here.
It's going to be fun. So talk to me a little bit. First of all, how did you come up with the name Between Water and Main?
Actually, the house is going to be named something else. I think we were looking at these giant oaks on the property that were just spectacular, but unfortunately we had to take them down because they were diseased, and we were thinking about a name, and a second property became available before we opened on Main Street, and we decided to make that our parking area. So the property actually is situated between Water Street and Main Street. So that's how we came up with the name.
Neat. And so you're located in Belhaven?
Yes, right in town.
Right in the middle of town. Talk to me a little bit about how you decided to open this and become the innkeeper.
Well, we bought the house about 10 years ago. We were looking specifically for property on the North Carolina coast. We did have in mind that we would open a bed and breakfast someday. And we started in Southport, and we worked our way up the North Carolina coast. Met my brother in the New Bern area, and we were about almost ready to give up, I think in Oriental. And he said, I work with somebody who comes from Belhaven. He just loves Belhaven because it's not far from here. Let's just go check it out. And we stopped at a realtor, saw a picture of the house. It had been a former B&B, and immediately from the photo, we knew that was the house for us. And we went to see it, and just probably one of the most impulsive things we ever did in our lives, we bought the house on our drive home back to New Jersey.
Very neat. And so you bought it 10 years ago.
We did, and we thought that we would open the bed and breakfast sooner, maybe 5 years ago, but the economy got in the way. And so we rented it out as a single-family home, and 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, we really started renovating it in earnest.
And so you started getting ready to go ahead and do what you wanted to do with the property originally?
Yes, we did.
So what needed to be done to the property to turn it into a bed and breakfast?
Well, it had been a B&B before, so I guess to some degree we didn't have to do anything, but we did want all our rooms to have private bathrooms, so that was probably the biggest piece that needed to be done. We took out one of the upstairs bedrooms and split it in half and put in two very large bathrooms, and then took the two existing bathrooms and attached them to the closest bedrooms. That was probably the biggest. And then, of course, every room in some way needed to be touched up, including old paint, fixed up, and doors repaired. We replaced all the windows. But the most spectacular thing about the house is it had an attached garden room that used to be a horticulture room. And over the last 2 years, I ended up getting my yoga teacher training certificate, and finally looked at that room differently and said, this would make, if we refinish this room, which was really falling apart, it would make a stunning yoga studio. And we also serve breakfast there when the weather's nice enough, because it's not cooled.
Very neat.
But it does pick up the river breezes because it has all windows. And so that is also my yoga studio.
So you run the yoga studio as well as the bed and breakfast?
I do.
Talk to me a little bit about that, the yoga piece.
So as I said, I decided a couple of years ago, as I was retiring from my corporate life, I should say semi-retiring from my corporate life, I decided to do something for myself and something that would get my health back. I'd always practiced yoga. I always found it helpful. And so I started doing it just for me, and then discovered that I love to teach. And I started teaching in corporate complexes in New Jersey and just really fell in love with teaching, and that's when I decided, I'm just going to open a studio attached to the inn. It really is a nice complementary business. I do offer complimentary classes to any guests who are staying when I happen to have a Rise and Shine class. Usually that's when they want to come, or I will, if there's enough interest with the guests, sometimes I just do one on Sunday morning that isn't scheduled, and that's been a really nice adjunct to the business. Other than that, the community's invited, and I teach 5 days a week.
You do teach 5 days a week? Is it just morning classes?
No, I've Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, and some privates.
Very neat. So, excuse me, talk to me a little bit more about anything else you had to do to the house.
I feel like we kept our our contractor and his crew, who were wonderful, all local people, busy, really busy. Again, everything from the roof to windows to walls, the bathrooms, everything was really, the wiring, everything, the plumbing had to be brought up to date. One of the last things we did was the kitchen. We did not reconfigure the kitchen too much. We added, the laundry room used to be outside the house, but we attached it. But we kept the kitchen sort of designed the same way, but we replaced everything in it.
So it's basically a brand new house.
Yeah, except that, we kept the wide plank floors, all the wide moldings are there, where we have original doors, some original stained glass windows, the fireplace, the beams, all of that is the same. We tried to keep it as authentic looking as possible. And I've collected antiques all my life, and so I've bought a few extra, but most of what I had already really is all over the house.
Oh, that's an attraction too. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute and learn a little bit more about the bed and breakfast.